Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this reading I'm going to be looking into what are their intentions towards you and their possible actions. So you can apply this reading, these energies and scenarios to somebody that you're currently dealing with, maybe somebody you've recently met, or even somebody from your past that you may be in kind of a no contact situation with, a little bit of separation or distance between the two of you. So just apply this reading as it resonates to your particular circumstances. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Apatite, along with these cards. Group 2 is the Lemonade Calcite, along with these cards. And group 3 is the Amethyst, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Apatite, along with these cards, which I will start with to get kind of a general overview of what are this person's intentions towards you and their possible actions. So we have Soul Journey, Sacred Wisdom, Pine Spirit, Purification, and Wise Woman of the Grove, Grace. So if this is somebody that you have been dealing with before in romance, some kind of a soul connection maybe that you are in separation from, no contact with, this feels like this person has an intention to clear the air between the two of you with this idea of purification. Wise Woman of the Grove really speaks to almost like the idea of the hermit, some kind of journey that has taken place within through the separation, through the silence, where they have unearthed some treasure as far as the significance of the connection, maybe something that was unclear to them before. Also, we have sacred wisdom here, so kind of the deeper implications and layers of the dynamic between the two of you that may have been very off-putting or triggering to them before. They kind of lacked clarity. The connection may have been very intense, and therefore they needed to sort of withdraw, go within themselves, or even just outright ran from you and the situation. But something has become very clear for them, and there's almost this desire, this intention to bring forth answers, more clarity, to be more direct in their manner of communication with you. The idea of the soul journey can speak about wanting to discontinue the runner-chaser cycle, moving back in the direction of you and the connection, wanting to evolve in some manner. So it feels like their intentions are definitely at this point in time directed toward evolution and growth. Possible actions, again, with this idea of wisdom, and especially with that word sacred, in this kind of flower of life that we have right here on this card, as well as the owl, which is symbolic of wisdom. Also, birds are harbingers of communication, of messages. This can talk about this person reaching out, breaking the silence between the two of you. This kind of snowy scene here on the Pine Spirit card. This can talk about breaking the ice, breaking through that wall of silence, not just with casual communication, but with something very meaningful to give. This might be in the form of an apology, some kind of communication that really is evidence, maybe in the words they are using, in the manner of their approach and delivery, the subject matters that you talk about, their willingness to open up to you on a deeper level than they had in the past, that it provides you with some kind of clarity about the growth and evolution that has taken place within them through this period of separation and silence. It's a significant act or action toward evolving beyond the current state, beyond the status quo. There's a lot that they are wanting to demonstrate to you about their interest in exploring some of the deeper layers of the connection, forward potential, forward movement, working with you, working with these energies rather than in opposition to them, an intention to provide you with the answers that may have really been very difficult for you to sort of find on your own. A lot of lingering questions, wanting to sort of close that out, provide resolution. I'm hearing restitution as well. So again, that can apply to an apology that's owed, or ways in which the connection was very imbalanced in the past. This person has the intention to give more, to participate more with you, almost to try and work their way through the uncertainty, the mystery of this situation alongside you, rather than having you be the one to carry the weight, even the weight of belief about the nature of this very extraordinary soul connection that the two of you share. This is an openness and a willingness to, although they may not have all the answers, to explore this with you, to walk this winding path of clarity and doubt and kind of vacillating back and forth between these, in alignment with you, as opposed to kind of continuing to move in the other direction. If this is somebody new that you are dealing with, this again really speaks to a lot of observation that has taken place, of the time that the two of you have spent together up to this point, a lot of wisdom that has been crystallizing within them, as far as a desire that they have to evolve the situation to the next level. They have the intention of clearing the air as well, more of that energy of the Pine Spirit and purification, as far as what they have really reflected upon, what they've really gained, what they have really experienced, and kind of the value of that, of your interactions with each other up to this point in time. This can speak to an action of making some kind of a proposal towards you. Maybe this is asking you out on a date, inviting you to participate in some kind of a shared activity. For some of you, this may even be kind of an excursion somewhere with the soul journey card, spending more quality and alone time together, and that being very much the intention, energetically moving in that direction with you, but then also in kind of the words and actions that may soon be conveyed to you, sort of making these plans for the future. Even if this is nothing definitively where a plan is set in place, it feels like their next actions, the nature of the words that they are using, that idea of wisdom, the evolution in the language, the evolution in the nature and type of conversations that you have. It gives you a broader perspective as far as that they're looking at the situation in the long term. They may be speaking about things in very much a forward tense, a long-term tense. I'm also hearing wanting you to meet their family, so that can be something as well, where again, these kind of discussions and plans for the future, maybe not necessarily, inviting you to participate in that yet, but including you in kind of their vision for something long term. Like, wouldn't it be nice if we all gathered and did this or that kind of a thing? So something that really kind of breaks through, again, a period of almost a plateau that the two of you have reached in this situation. Maybe, the stage you are at in terms of getting to know one another, this person has the intention of transcending that. They may have needed some time to really, just organically get to know you, but that over this course of time, through what they have discerned, what they have exchanged between the two of you, their intention is to continue to build, to continue to learn and grow through the situation, learn and grow about you, or get to know about you and kind of expand their knowledge in that capacity as well, to create more opportunities, either through, an increase in the conversation, different kinds of topics, a kind of branching out of the way and dynamic in which you've been spending time together up to this point in time. There's a desire to move more toward that place where you might build into the next layer or level of what is possible between the two of you. And again, actions taken, words are factoring in very strongly here as far as something that is communicated in a direct manner, or just kind of the nature and the frequency of the conversations. It expands somehow. It clears the air. It puts your mind at ease as far as that this person is interested in kind of continuing the situation. They are interested in growing. They see long-term potential in here. This is not somebody who's getting ready to, almost move away from the situation, or has kind of wrapped up their level of interest with you, but this is almost somebody who's their actions, their consistency, the increase in conversation, or even again the nature of what is spoken, helps to really convey directly or indirectly that intention of forward movement, forward progress, which helps you to then have sort of a better idea and a better view of, do you want to continue in this situation? Is this something almost where their intentions are made more clear? Maybe even sort of dreams and goals that they have for the future are openly discussed with you in a manner that it gives you a perspective as far as, do we have these shared and common goals? Is this something where, this situation, this connection at whatever stage it is at right now has long-term potential? It may be a crossroads period then that you are provided with, where you are able to then sort of see the greater aspects of what is possible. Is this something that may just remain in the element of friendship? Is this something that has long-term romantic potential? Something that is very clear either in what they directly state or another way in which they open up to you that expresses very clearly their intention of keeping you in their life for the long term. So I'm going to get some tarot to get a little more clarification about this for you. Okay, we've got the Queen of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Page of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Six of Pentacles, so more earth energy. And King of Pentacles, earth energy again. So definitely words, conversations, meaningful conversations, or gestures, some kind of an offer, even an apology, or some kind of a declaration, whether this is somebody from the past or somebody new that you're dealing with. That's all embodied in this Page of Pentacles energy. It's a seed. It's a seed of potential, but it's something that has the ability to grow. It's something where there's this long-term growth potential as well that is in their mind, wanting to invest more into the situation with the Six of Pentacles, to give, to either give you peace of mind, give you reassurance, give you a greater understanding of what they are able and willing to give to you and this connection at this point in time. But again, it's very much growth minded in terms of Page of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. This is long-term energy here. This Queen of Swords talks about, the communication with all these sort of birds, these little doves floating around here in the card. This is something where this person, whether it's a new person or someone from the past, they have this intention through the words that they use, through this very direct and truthful communication, to bring you peace of mind, to put your fears to rest, to provide you with some kind of clarity or solace about maybe what the time apart has done for them in terms of growth and maturity within themselves, within their perception of what is possible or what they are able to give to the connection. If this is someone you're dealing with, this can also be where they're almost perceiving that you're wondering, where is this going? What is the long-term potential here? What does this person want out of me? Are we gonna do this thing? Are we gonna grow? Is this gonna go somewhere long-term, or is this something where we're just gonna keep circling around at sort of the level that we are at right now? So this person has the intention of being truthful about that with you, being very direct in terms of their intentions, their thoughts for the future, what they need and are looking for in terms of a romantic connection. If this is something where you've maybe touched upon that in a superficial level, this is digging in deeper. This even feels to be this is really a reference to fears is coming up as well. So this may be some communication that takes place where new person or person from the past is really wanting to provide you even just with a story or an anecdote that they share, something that helps to put into perspective for you the time they may have been taking up to this point in time, boundaries or barriers that were outwardly stated or were just sort of energetically in place that have kept them at a distance from moving more quickly through this connection. It's some kind of truth and clarity that you are given, that they have the intention of making very clear to you. That while they're interested in this situation, that there's more almost growth that they are needing to do beyond their own comfort zone, or that they have been really taking this time to evaluate that, maybe work on some kind of core issues within them, some fears or hesitations stemming from heartbreak of the past that have kept them almost moving very slowly and deliberately in this situation. But with all this kind of green right here as well, this does speak about opening their heart more. So something of a nature of vulnerability that is really expressed. This can be kind of deep and meaningful words, perhaps even a series of conversations with these doves here, that this person intends to really present to you, to give you some clarity, to give you some answers, to give you some peace of mind, even to questions that hadn't directly come up, but that they're just sensing now's the time to kind of open up more, provide more as far as a backstory is concerned, or if you've been in no contacts, kind of what's been happening in the distance, in the silence, in the separation, so that you can get more into this place of equal give and take, so that you're both very well informed about kind of where you are at in terms of both of your intentions, what you're capable of giving to the situation, what you both see and envision in terms of the long-term potential. It feels like new person or old person, they are interested in investing in something very long-term, solid and stable with you. They see you as somebody that they can build with in a very substantial manner. And so meaningful conversation, not just talking about the weather, but maybe starting off that way, just to kind of break the ice a little bit with that idea of purification. You have to start somewhere. But this isn't where they're just going to kind of dawdle or linger in that area of like surface level discussions. This is somebody who really intends to get to the heart of the matter, to get to the point in a very substantial progress. If this is someone who was kind of wishy-washy before, they've reached a place of clarity within themselves and they intend to bring forward something meaningful to you in terms of their next communication, or kind of the state or the energy that they are in when they approach you. So communication could definitely be occurring. Someone you've been in no contact with reaching out, all this Pentacles energy. This isn't just talking about telepathic or, energetic vibes sent your way. This is real world communication, something that, again, sort of opens that door to building into a new direction. Evolution may be required as well. It'll take time to kind of move from point A to that, whatever that future horizon is that the two of you, decide is kind of mutually beneficial for the two of you. But there's a reciprocity here that might have been lacking before in terms of holding space for you to express yourself, express your personal truth, giving time and attention to the words that you are saying, maybe an ultimatum or something you've expressed in the past that they have really thought about. They have come to a place of wisdom. They've come to appreciate the connection in a deeper manner. And so there's a desire to kind of build in a new direction, that this situation is worth investing in. If this is someone new you're dealing with, again, kind of, maybe taking things slowly, the intention to allow things to develop very organically between the two of you, and really taking note even of, just subtleties, things that you're saying, somebody who really pays attention to that, and is making the effort, is trying to give to you in a manner that you don't feel rushed, you don't feel pushed, you don't feel backed into a corner, but you feel and are able to witness and experience firsthand that this is somebody who, is very interested in kind of not just building this situation into something that will be temporarily satisfactory, but somebody who has these long-term intentions. They envision a future with you, and they understand the necessity of kind of building layer by layer, getting to know one another at a pace that is comfortable for the both of you, and that at whatever stage you are at in that journey of getting to know one another, this person intends to take it a step further, to invest more deeply and more dearly into the situation than they have up to this point in time. They're ready to make some progress. They're ready to make some moves in this situation, and they feel very much on kind of the brink of communicating that to you, or at least starting to shift or introduce a wider range of topics. And again, this kind of long-term potential energy into the nature of your exchanges back and forth, with the intention not just of getting you to let your guard down, but really to express to you, to convey to you, to prove to you their willingness and present ability to continue to participate with you, and interest in seeing, what is this going to turn into? What are we building this into? Something that they are expressing or providing that really demonstrates they're in this for the long haul with you. This is something where, they enjoy your company, they enjoy the time that you've spent together, and it's a desire to build in an even deeper level the situation, the bond that is already forged between the two of you, or something that they really sense has a lot of long-term potential in it. They may be getting ready to, convey that, express that. That might even be something just starting out with asking you out on a date, for example. Giving you their phone number, asking for your phone number, getting kind of those lines of communication open between the two of you. Again, not just for a temporary situation, but something that, they want to continue. They want to get to know you. They want to build, and they really see and sense that this is something that could turn into something very satisfying in the long term for the both of you. So I'm going to get a few messages from this person's higher self and see what do they want you to know right now. Okay, so we have good intentions. So that's definitely reassuring in a reading that we are looking into what are their intentions. They definitely have the intention here to be very honest with you, very direct with you, to explain to you what they have learned, maybe in a period of separation between you. If this person comes forward out of the past and you might be a little guarded or skeptical about that, this can really be from the higher self, them letting you know that they don't intend to kind of bring more complications to your life, but rather that there is a desire to see what can be kind of built out of, the history that you two shared together. What of these, seeds of connection are still viable between the two of you? How can the situation be balanced out, brought back to a place of almost neutrality, or like a clean slate, in order to kind of move forward in a more stable and productive direction together? If this is somebody new that you're dealing with, again, they have these very good intentions. It may be something that kind of catches you off guard. Maybe it's a little sudden or overwhelming, or just this shift in this person based on even your romantic history, your romantic past. You may be very kind of guarded or leery about people, breadcrumbing, for example. So kind of this shift, this person evolving out into a new sort of realm or direction of what they're talking about, what they're expressing to you. This might be something where you're being almost, you have your discernment turned up, and this can be, again, the higher self letting you know that they do have good intentions. They're trying not to come on too strong, but they do. It almost feels that it might energetically announce itself, which could send up some red flags for you energetically, that they see long-term potential here. And maybe this is somebody that you've just met, or you're just starting to get to know, and as they're trying to just hold themselves back, give just a little to this connection, that guardedness might be sort of making your spidey sense question things, or what you're able to kind of read between the lines. It may be very overwhelming to you. It may feel like a lot very quickly. And again, sort of based on your perhaps romantic history or tendencies in the past, or something that's happened in the past where you jumped too quickly into something that didn't necessarily work out very well. You might be kind of exercising a degree of caution, questioning their motives. What's the catch? What does this person want? What are they trying to do in this situation? But their intentions are definitely very good here. A desire to build and to get to know you and to grow into something long-term and stable. They also say, you've changed my whole direction. So if this is someone new you're dealing with, you've definitely made quite an impact upon them. You may have even caused them to sort of question the nature of the future that they are moving toward, plans they had in place that have now, they're starting to kind of rewrite those or to reevaluate those, factoring you into something that might have been like a solo journey before. If this is somebody from your past, again, this idea of they have been fundamentally changed by the experience with you. Again, that hermit mode energy is coming up very strongly with this, that they have used this time wisely. They have come to some deep personal truth about the significance of this connection, the importance of that bond between the two of you, and a desire to work to kind of build and grow and repair the situation. And they also say, I just want to go back in time. So somebody from the past who has some regrets about how they handled the situation, maybe that they were so overwhelmed by the intensity of the connection, or even some kind of wounds within themselves, fears of commitment, for example, that had caused them to run from this, something that they said, something that they did, a way in which they feel they almost mishandled the situation. This can really talk about coming forth with some kind of an apology to try and mend from where you are at this point. If it's someone new you're dealing with, this almost is talking about whether this is, the actual case or not, whether you sort of concur with this or not. They almost feel that they wish that they had expressed or made efforts to move this connection into more of a solid commitment sooner. There may have been something where even they were kind of hesitant, trying to take their time, trying to be very methodical, not let their emotions kind of run wild, maybe wounds from their past that had created, this extra guardedness within them. And there's almost a sense of a crossroads that the two of you are at, where if they don't make something clear at this point in time, they may lose this opportunity with you. And so a bit of kind of thinking back on almost, I should have said this sooner, I should have made this effort and this attempt with you sooner, that is motivating them to kind of turn up the volume on what it is they're conveying to you. And we also have secret. So this is something where, if it's someone new you're dealing with, secretly, they could have really recognized this long-term potential in you almost immediately upon meeting you. That could have really caused them to put the brakes on, to take things very slowly, but they're almost worrying that they've taken too much time. It's been too deliberate. It's been too methodical. been too logically based at the expense of kind of these deep emotions. So they're trying to almost make up for lost time by, conveying this secret that they've been holding inside, that they see long-term potential. They want to move forward. When they envision the future, they envision you in it. The idea here with somebody from your past that you were dealing with, secretly, it almost feels that they've been planning their move back towards you for quite some time. So they may come up very unexpectedly. They're not really letting this be known to other people in their life. They may, if you're aware of them on social media, you're able to watch and observe. They may be just kind of going through the motions, making, either posting very little, or it's very unclear as to what's going on, kind of, again, that hermit mode where they're withdrawn into themselves, or just trying to kind of keep up appearances and facades that everything is still just progressing as usual in the status quo within their life and where they are at. And so this may come very unexpectedly, where this person kind of emerges out of the shadows, not from a place of impulse, but again, with all that Pentacles energy and those references to wisdom, they've been thinking about this for a while. What they bring forth to you, it's a changed energy. It's something that, again, you might be very almost triggered by that, what they bring forth to you, wondering what's the catch? Is this reliable? Is this trustworthy this time? Because almost the intensity and strength with which they come towards you this time around, it's so different from what you've experienced in the past that it's kind of the idea of, when confronted with wishes coming true, we can often get kind of overwhelmed that it either turned up or manifested so quickly, or so in alignment with what we've been hoping. Maybe for some of you, you'd kind of abandoned hope of this person changing, them returning, and when they do, it's kind of a bittersweet feeling. It's a sense of relief, and then almost a sense of overwhelm, like, wow, okay, the time is now. We're moving this thing forward. This potential is here. So you may be the one to almost need to put on the brakes or sit and sort of think about this for a period of time. But with that idea of Page of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles, it feels that this, and also even the scales, on this Six of Pentacles right here, it feels that this person, whether it's the new person or the person from the past, they're going to respect that. They're going to, understand that you may need to take things slowly. Trust is earned gradually, not to rush into anything. That Pentacles energy is very slow moving, but it's an intention to build toward the long term, an action that is almost brick by brick laying a new foundation or paving the road toward what may unfold between the two of you in the future. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit and close it out with some initials for you. Okay, we have Spider, community and web weaving. So very interesting with that spider and that reference that was coming up with your spidey sense, maybe kind of going off when this person from the past, new person, comes forth, makes this intention of kind of wanting to build in the intensity, in the long-term potential of this situation. It may be something where you're needing to almost look into yourself and see, is this a genuine kind of red flag, or is this almost just like a fear of wish fulfillment, or even a fear of the rug being ripped out under you again, or maybe even for the first time with this individual, but is kind of like this spiral here on the spider's body, an idea of some kind of pattern that you've experienced in romance in the past, that this is an opportunity to break free of some kind of cycle, build in a new direction, but it may, almost that forward movement may be something where you're confronted with your own sort of core wounds, and then that choice, choose the path of fear and continue along in that cycle, or the path of love and kind of branch out beyond that, open yourself up to trust. The idea also with this web, these are not, they're built quickly, but not instantaneously. So it's kind of piece by piece, thread by thread, a series of conversations that helps to kind of flesh out for the both of you where this situation might be headed in the long term, what the two of you need, what the two of you want, what the two of you are willing to give, and what you expect in return. And that through these series of conversations, that almost the fabric of potential comes into form for you and this individual person from the past or new person in terms of kind of a sense of safety and security, but then also a foundation or kind of the ability to transcend your current circumstances. This idea of the web can also really reinforce online communication. So something that comes through via text or email, or even a direct message on social media. But this is also really in terms of guidance, speaking about, take your time, use your subtle senses, check in with yourself as well. Ensure that, if you're feeling a bit guarded or a bit hesitant about how this person approaches or how the manner in which they are making their intentions known, they could still be fighting through a lot of fears themselves. It may come out kind of wobbly or almost like they're trying to hold themselves back a little bit in terms of what they are revealing to you. Feeling beneath the surface of that, trusting in kind of the vibration, giving yourself almost the 3-second rule before just leaping to the conclusion to totally dismiss this person or totally, leap into the situation, checking in and seeing, does this feel like we are on the same page? Following that same kind of instinct through this progress, through kind of the series of conversations that take place where these intentions, as those are brought out into the material world, as those are expressed, as those are kind of depicted and described to you, making sure that these are in alignment with your idea of personal abundance and happiness, regardless of, if this is someone from the past that you've had a lot of energy invested in trying to manifest them back into your reality. You may have changed in the period of time that you've been apart. It feels like definitely have changed. So taking things very slowly to really assess, are you on the same page? Are these goals that maybe you once had together, are these still the same shared goals? Are you, giving and receiving in a way that is kind of reciprocal in how you are building toward this situation? Same theory applies with the new person. Being very discerning, but at the same time open to the possibility that, the future that you may be building toward, it could be showing up in a different manner than you had hoped if you were setting intentions for kind of like the next romance, or you had preconceived notions about what this situation would evolve into and the pace and the manner of that. Being open to kind of compromise and working with this person, being very diligent, taking your time with the situation, checking in with yourself, listening to the words they're saying, feeling into the energies beneath the words, and just understanding that, even though these are, these intentions of this long-term circumstance for person from the past and new person, that it will take time to build something very solid and stable and reliable that you both can lean upon. So taking it slow, bit by bit, day by day, conversation by conversation, can help you to sort of build into a future that is mutually beneficial for the two of you. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got S, A, Z, Q, E, and T. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I'm also running a sale in my Etsy shop now through the end of the month of February. Everything is marked down 15%, so if you've been considering getting a reading with me or purchasing any of the handmade items that I make and sell there, now would be a good time to act upon that, as I don't often run sales. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format there's a little different from here. I do pick-a-cards as well as general energy check-ins, but the subject matters that I cover are related to spirituality, wellness, self-love, and ascension. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I invite you to check that channel out, and I thank you for your support over there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose the Lemonade Calcite, along with these cards, which I will start with to kind of get a general overview of what are this person's intentions towards you and their possible actions. We have Change, Personal Power, Water Spirit, Manifesting Dreams, and Bluebird Spirit, Happiness. So their intentions towards you are definitely to manifest, whether this is somebody from your past or somebody new that you are dealing with, to manifest a second chance with you, a change in direction, forward evolution of the circumstance, of the situation, to move beyond maybe a period of dormancy into a fresh start, into rebirth, to counteract some of the heaviness, the sorrow, the sense of loss, the grieving, the fears that you have experienced. If this is someone from the past, maybe a fear that they would not return, a fear or even kind of something that you've taken upon yourself of having done something wrong, been too intense, too much in this situation. There's this interest, this intention that they have of kind of calming this within you, restoring happiness to the situation. Again, all these kind of cherry blossoms here in the background of the Bluebird Spirit. This is speaking about springtime energy, this rebirth energy, wanting to come in from out of the cold, or come in from the cold that has been the case in this situation. So shifting the dynamic between the two of you energetically through the words that they speak, being more compassionate towards you, more sympathetic and empathetic towards you, allaying a lot of your fears, putting those to rest, helping you feel very seen, very recognized, very appreciated, wanting to breathe new life into this situation that has maybe been in a state of dormancy, or somebody who walked away has the intention of changing directions and moving back towards you to see, can we begin again? Can this be restarted? That the distance between the two of you, the intention to make known that you have remained in their heart. You have been this energetic companion with them through these kind of seasons that they have gone through in their own personal experience and how they've been dealing with the situation and the energy. It's this idea of kind of wanting to bridge that gap between the two of you, move back into a place where you're seeing eye to eye, to really have those conversations as far as this person giving you what it is that you need to feel safe and secure in their presence. This idea with these otters as well, in this water spirit card, this really speaks about a desire to protect you, to protect this connection, to take steps to ensure that they are showing up for you in a more profound and consistent manner than they had in the past, as far as possible actions stemming from that. Definitely communication, with this bluebird spirit, birds being harbingers of that, of communication, joyous words, a happy conversation. This can be kind of someone who needed some time to think about things. They needed to kind of move through some other cycles in their life, that there's a change. They're ready to commit, that this is expressed to you. Someone who kind of, again, comes back in from out in the cold. They pick up the phone, they reach out, they send that email, they send that text message. And it's something that really represents almost that first blossoming in what has the ability to become something that is kind of overshadowed by the energy of joy. They're trying to be that joyous presence for you. These are conversations that, even if they're dealing with difficult subjects, needing to kind of clear the air from the past, the actions that they are taking are this willingness to participate with you, to kind of traverse those difficulties you faced, to dive more deeply into those emotional waters than they had in the past, to find a way to compromise and to work towards you, toward rebuilding out of what was lost in the situation in the past, building into a new direction, empowering the situation. Again, all this blue here in the background of this personal power speaks to very deep communication, resounding communication, a level of personal truth that they had maybe held back from you in the past. This can be even words and declarations expressing feelings for you, maybe in a way that they had never done previously. The intensity and nature of the connection caused them to pull away, to hold back, to restrain themselves. Maybe even for some of you, this person denied having feelings, but they have the intention of course correcting, of expressing to you the truth of what they have held within their heart for quite some time. That you are wish fulfillment for them. You are that dream come true. They may have needed to sort of wander to, kind of work through commitment issues within themselves. Maybe they needed to kind of see that the grass really wasn't greener on the other side. They had some other kind of roads they needed to travel down, and they have reached a place of almost completion within themselves, deep personal change, a sense of working on their personal empowerment as well, breaking free from patterns and cycles within their life. And it's this urge, this intention, and these actions that they are getting ready to take towards you, to sort of fill you in on what's been happening in their life, and to open up that door of possibility to see, do you still feel the same way? Is this something that's still viable? Is it too little too late? They may have overlooked your value in the past, or very much seen that, but we're still operating from a lot of this fearful energy, this shadowy energy, things that they needed to kind of work through and sort of break away from on their own very independently. They've come to a place of completion with that, though, and so it's the intention of bringing forth that changed version of themselves, personal metamorphosis that has gone on, and bringing that to you, investing more in this situation, giving more time, consistency, being more forthright in the words that they speak, so that you are very clear about the feelings that they have for you, that they have harbored inside for quite some time, the feelings that maybe were not very clear to them in the past, but that have come into full view. And it's something where, there's this desire, this intention. And again, these words are conversations that are very clear and to the point, and that speak to, this person conveying to you that you are this wish fulfillment, and that they are interested, ready, and able to kind of change the story between the two of you, rewrite the narrative, or shift the situation into a different direction than what where you'd kind of been at right now, and what the future based on the past had looked like. If this is somebody new that you are dealing with, this is where this person may have kind of been uncertain about the situation. They were kind of on the fence as far as long-term potential that they were seeing in this situation. Maybe even the intensity and nature of their feelings towards you, a very unexpected connection. Maybe this is somebody who is just a friend, and they've caught feelings for you very quickly, very intensely. That could have stirred up a lot lot of fears within them, cause them to be kind of distant and guarded or trying to hold back in some manner. There's this intention now to change their approach to you, rather than having so much of that kind of fear and guardedness being the energy that introduces itself. This is taking a leap of faith. This is taking a chance, opening up those lines of communication, maybe expressing feelings, deep emotional feelings, romantic feelings for you for the first time, opening the door to see, can we explore this? Can we build upon this? Is this something that's mutual? This can also be, the intention of almost changing or putting to rest any fears that you may have had about this person's level of appreciation for you, their level of recognition for, the connection at whatever sort of phase it is at this point in time, words that they are wanting to express to you that really move you beyond any kind of a shadow of the doubt that they do enjoy your company, that they see in you a lot mirrored within themselves. This is almost like a best friends and kind of partner energy right here. So words along those lines that they may be getting ready to kind of express to you, diving into some deep emotional waters. Again, also that idea of, in many ways, you are a wish come true, you are wish fulfillment. This idea that you came forth very unexpectedly towards them, and they may have needed to kind of take a pause or were kind of almost fighting this in some manner, because you may have been very different from the type of person or a specific individual they had been trying to manifest in terms of a romantic partnership, and that they almost have seen the light in this circumstance, and the intention here is to change your view of them. They almost may feel that they had presented a lot of fear, they hadn't put their best foot forward up to this point in time, whether that is a reality or just something that they've internalized within themselves. And so it's the intention to show you a different side of themselves. They may have brought a lot of heaviness and drama and chaos to your life. They may have been in kind of a dark or fearful period in their life in general, going through a lot of turbulence. You may have really been there for this person, a shoulder for them to cry on, somebody to lean upon. Again, this is giving distinct friendship vibes here. So somebody who's getting ready to open that door to exploring something more. And a lot of kind of underlying and yet tangible chemistry. It's a tiger here, but this is kind of giving the impression of like the elephant in the room, something that they were very fearful in the past of fully admitting to themselves, feeling that they weren't ready to kind of step into that, or that, again, they had a very clear picture of like who and what they were trying to manifest by way of romance. And when you showed up, it was very different from that kind of idea, and so they almost might have misjudged you. They were almost oblivious. It's almost like you blended into the background of their circumstance, but they're seeing you now, and the potential that exists here between the two of you with fresh eyes. And so it's this idea of the intention to change the level of almost attention that they are giving you, or the nature of what they're talking about, a desire to, present you with less of kind of the drama and chaos of what's going on in their own sort of personal journey and struggles, and to be more of a positive force, a blessing in your life, as opposed to what they may feel like is a burden, energies of kind of like a heaviness that may have caused you to almost pull back from the situation. They've gained some kind of perspective about that, and it's this intention of bringing forth clarity, an energy of clarity and peace and happiness to you, rather than kind of projecting very unconsciously or even consciously all of this kind of fear-based energy. Even if this was like a friend, it's almost like they've come to this understanding that they were leaning too much upon you, looking at you almost to kind of fix or heal or help these issues within themselves that they are really needing to deal with, that they burden the connection, they burden the situation with a lot of that. And so it's this intention to sort of change the way that they are showing up, change the vibration that they are presenting to you, and the actions that they may take. Definitely a different line of communication, different words that are spoken, different kinds of conversations that take place, complimenting you more, speaking about more uplifting things, checking in with themselves as well, and even kind of if they're not having a good day, rather than just kind of running to you as sort of that sounding board, that dumping ground where they can kind of give all of that negativity to for transmutation. This is almost somebody who may be holding themselves back, having more respect for your peace and your peace of mind by not wanting to be that presence of sort of strife or chaos or friction within your life through what is being unconsciously projected upon you. So a lot more of a conscientious energy here, wanting to be that force of peace within your world, wanting to express kind of the joy and the appreciation they have for the times that you spend together, and wanting to kind of shift the connection as it is at this point in time into the direction of building toward more of good times between the two of you, less focus on kind of difficulties or even kind of a personal phase of difficulties that they are working through at this point. So I'm going to get some tarot to clarify a little bit for you. Okay, we've got the Six of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. King of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Queen of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And the Devil, which is Capricorn. So this idea here with the Six of Swords does speak to a change in the way that this person is speaking to you as far as their intentions, whether this is someone new you're dealing with or someone that you have dealt with in the past, that there's a desire to bring forth a different type of communication, something that helps to shift the connection out of kind of a lot of the fear-based energies with the Devil that had been consciously or unconsciously sort of projected on the situation. This is a desire to break free from that tendency and pattern, maybe ways in which either new person or old person had been kind of projecting their problems, almost expecting you to kind of fix these things, utilizing that. Maybe you are an empath, and so you're kind of absorbing these things, you're taking these things onto yourself. And it's something that they have become aware of in some manner that needs to shift, it needs to change. They need to be more conscientious of that aspect of you in order to almost re-enter your life or to continue to be a part of your life. You may have taken distance from this person as well because it was just too much. It was too intense, too chaotic. It was interfering with your own kind of peace, your peace of mind. And so there is this intention to provide you with more tranquility. And this doesn't just mean, sugar and rainbows all the time, but something where they're checking in with themselves a lot more as far as if they're having a bad day, if they're feeling very low vibrational, to not just automatically run towards your light to fix that, to be that solution, trying to kind of solve these problems within themselves first and foremost, or to even honor your sort of need for personal boundaries by, kind of pulling themselves back from the situation if they don't have something kind of consistently positive and uplifting and productive to provide to the situation. This idea of the Devil can also speak about fears and kind of cycles. Someone from the past, that their communication towards you, the words that were spoken were very, very fear-based. They'd kind of cut things off in a very extreme manner, been very much in kind of denial of their feelings, anything that they had needed to kind of work through as far as like a grass is greener on the other side activity or mentality, something that has come to a conclusion with them that they are wanting to convey to you. They see the light now. They have learned to love themselves. They have broken free from a lot of these patterns or tendencies that interfered with or that they had chosen to move in the direction of at the expense of the connection in the past. The King of Wands is this very dynamic energy. It's a creative energy. It's really speaking about the desire to kind of create a different impression that you have of them, whether it's somebody from the past, somebody new that you're dealing with, a desire to magnetize in more of the kind of the peaceful and the harmonious vibration between the two of you, to counteract any kind of heaviness that had consciously or unconsciously been almost clogging the flow of the dynamic between the two of you. A desire to kind of move beyond that in some manner, to build or spark or ignite almost the next layer of what is possible between the two of you. So this really speaks to building in a very positive direction, moving beyond any kind of difficulty, any kind of uncertainty. That's the intention here, and the action steps that are taken are definitely communication along those lines. Conveying to you very directly how much you mean to them, how empowered and, very much seen and appreciated that they feel or felt in your presence. If this is somebody from the past, that they may not have been able and willing to appreciate your value. They maybe not were in a place of being able to invest fully in this connection, but that they're taking steps. They're recognizing almost what is standing in the way of that, or they've made substantial progress to kind of break free from some of those barriers or obstacles to doing that internally or externally in the past. And this is coming forth almost in a softer energy, a more gentle energy, a willingness to kind of build. And even with all these little dogs here on the bottom of this card, to express this loyalty that really fits in well with kind of these two sea otters here, this idea of, wanting to remain very loyal to you, wanting to do what's necessary to ensure that you feel very seen and appreciated. If this was something that kind of ran or was wishy-washy, that they're wanting to invest this time around. They're ready to kind of give something more to you more consistently than they had in the past. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit about this, and then I'll close up with some initials for you. Okay, we have joy, rejoicing in the present. So that is that bluebird spirit energy here, happiness as a double confirmation of that a new cycle or phase is possible in this situation. But with all these autumn leaves, this is really speaking about this guidance, your willingness to release a previous kind of impression that you had of this person. This doesn't necessarily mean, to kind of forget the past and just, let that kind of fall by the wayside and open yourself up to sort of falling back into old cycles with them. But this definitely does talk about, if you so choose it, there is the ability to move in a different direction, that the experiences that you have had independently and also, through your dealings with one another, there is growth potential here. And it comes with, the willingness to almost have your impression, have the memories and experiences that you've had together changed. There's a lot of joy that is possible. It feels that a lot maybe coming in that is almost the change you were hoping to experience in this connection, in this situation. It may take time to kind of rebuild that trust. There may be a guardedness within you that you also need to honor that as well. The very self-loving part of you that has recognized and is no longer willing to participate in certain cycles with this individual, keeping that bar very high and allowing them the opportunity to kind of rise and meet you is the best sort of formula in this situation in order to move in a very reciprocal manner in the direction of infusing more joy into how you view this person, how you hold this energy, what that connection looks like, whether it's someone from the past returning or somebody new that you're dealing with. And I forgot to get the messages from their higher self, so I'll do that now before I pull initials and see what does this person want you to know right now. Okay, and we have guilt. So this person is either someone from the past feeling guilty about how they, maybe treated you, made you feel like an option, how they held back their true feelings from you, guilty for a decision to, almost like grass is greener on the other side, that they're wanting to course correct. They're wanting to bring forth to you more joy to counteract that. This can also talk about somebody new that you are dealing with who's holding a lot of guilt for any ways in which they have burdened you with some personal difficulties they are going through, any kind of heaviness or uncertainty that has almost clouded the experience of joy between the two of you. And there's a desire to almost bring forth an energy of lightness and an energy of kind of peace in order to kind of counteract some of the heaviness or uncertainty you've experienced. And they also say that changes are real. So this can tie into the idea of a bit of leeriness, somebody from the past returning towards you, and you're not sure, is this just going to be another go around in the same cycle? They may be speaking words that are demonstrating that they've evolved in some manner. They may be, letting you know about certain cycles as well, with that idea of personal power and kind of taking their power back from the devil, from toxic sort of cycles or belief systems or patterns or things that they were engaging in their life. From the higher self, they're really letting you know that they mean these changes at this point in time. They mean what they say this time around. And this doesn't mean that you just, kind of leap back into that without using that discernment. Again, that idea of keeping that bar very high and allowing this person to prove through their actions that the changes they have made have actually been cemented, that they have evolved, and that it is not just something fleeting, but that it's a consistent new pattern they have established within themselves. And this also ties in with the idea of a new person wanting to change how they have been presenting themselves to you, wanting to change your impression of them. A lot of heaviness or uncertainty, kind of a lot of wishy-washy energy that they may have intentionally or unintentionally kind of projected upon you. There's this urge to kind of bring forth a lightness that might have been missing from the situation up to this point in time. And they also say your words speak to me like no others can. So someone from the past or somebody new that you're dealing with, both of these individuals have really reflected upon words that you've said, advice you have given them, maybe being that shoulder to cry on, ultimatums that you have even laid down, or, things that you've talked about as far as your own kind of personal struggles, your own personal process of keeping your vibration high, that has really helped them to sort of change their perception as far as ways in which they need to learn to fill their own cup, kind of work through their own sort of difficulties in their life, action steps that are being taken, almost feeling you as a companion energy, seeking you out, leaning upon you for that advice, but also not wanting to overburden you, recognizing kind of this need to create that balance, create that change in being self-sufficient in that manner of self-soothing, and also making sure that the words that they speak, the conversations that the two of you have, the energy that they bring forth to you into this situation is productive for the both of you. And we also have honest. So this can again tie into the idea of the changes are real. Somebody who has gotten very honest with themselves about, maybe some unconscious patterning within them, wanting to be very honest about what they have learned in the separation through any kind of breaking free of patterns in their own life, wanting to bring forth an energy that is very true and trustworthy to you as well. And if this is someone new that you're dealing with, somebody who wants to not so much bring forth more of that heaviness and that uncertainty, but this is somebody who wants to be very honest as far as the ways that they value you, they appreciate the connection, they want to continue moving forward with this. And also some part of them that is really able to recognize and even perhaps directly address that they have been bringing a lot of heaviness and chaos, projecting that upon you in the situation, and that there's a desire to course correct in the interest of preserving what the two of you share together and building toward what is yet to unfold between you. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got C, B, H, Y, I, and D. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I'm also running a sale now through the end of the month of February. Everything in my Etsy shop is marked down 15%. So if you've been considering getting a reading from me or purchasing one of the handmade items that I sell, now would be a good time to do that, as I don't often run sales. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format there is a little different from here. I do pick a cards as well as general energy check-ins, but the subject matters that I cover are related to spirituality, ascension, wellness, and self-love. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that channel out, and I thank you for your support there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the Amethyst. Along with these cards, which I will start with to get an overview of what are this person's intentions towards you and their possible actions. So we have Illusion, Energy Balance, Owl Spirit, Wisdom, and Stag Spirit, Leadership. So this is definitely, whether this is somebody new or somebody that you were dealing with previously, there is a desire to step out from the shadows, to take off some mask that has been in place as far as their feelings for you, their long-term thoughts as far as the connection is concerned, some wisdom and insight that they may have gained, downloads that perhaps came from their higher self, or a period of contemplation that they have been in as far as aspects of the connection that really were very triggering for them, or also very illuminating for them, that they may have needed to kind of take the time to figure out. It's almost this idea of kind of putting on some kind of a facade or a mask while deep within they've been in contemplation. They've reached this place of certainty, though, where action towards you, rather than disconnecting or continuing to move further away from the connection, feels to be what they have decided is in their best interest. There's this urge, this intention to work with you, to restore balance to the situation, to participate with the nature of the connection between the two of you, energetically speaking, to reciprocate with you, seeing that the two of you are very much in alignment with one another in a lot of subtle ways, and also in very minute ways. Outwardly, it could be almost like an opposites attract situation, and yet there's this cohesion between the two of you that is undeniable. It's something that goes beyond just mere chemistry between the two of you. The intention that they have is to bring forth healing as well, healing of any uncertainty, clarity, taking down that mask, revealing more of sort of their thoughts on this, their long-term goals and ideas as far as the situation is concerned. Being very proactive, being very assertive in conveying to you kind of what they have learned about the situation so far, what they have learned about the nature of their own feelings. If this is someone you've been in separation from, it feels like a lot of healing that has taken place within them that they have the intention of bringing forth to you by way of direct communication in terms of actions. That owl there, owls being, or birds in general, rather being harbingers of communication, but rather than just something very impulsive or surface level, this idea of wisdom is something that they have been thinking about for quite some time. They may have been in this process of kind of scripting or almost trying to decipher and decide what they need to bring forth in order to, restore the connection to a place of the two of you being on the same page, working toward a very mutual future with one another. Steps that they are needing to take, and perhaps have been very confused about what direction, how to approach, that they have the intention of sort of transcending and moving beyond any kind of uncertainty that you have had based on kind of a disconnect between, or like a wishy-washy energy between what has been presented to you up to this point in time, and then ways in which they have maybe been inconsistent with their actions, even inconsistent energetically. There's this intention on their part to move into a place of certainty, to move into a place where you feel confident, trusting in what they have to bring forward, rather than kind of illusions or, even kind of a deceptive energy. This almost feels like skirting around the truth in some manner, maybe avoiding up to this point in time conveying just how profound of an impact you have had upon them, whether this is someone new or someone from the past. There's instead this intention to transcend all of that, to be very clear in what it is that they are speaking to you, to present in this energy of confidence and balance, so that even just energetically speaking, beyond the words that are stated, it's transferred on all levels of their being. This desire to kind of move beyond untruths, move beyond unspoken words, to bring almost that very visceral sort of attraction or intensity between the two of you out into the open in some manner. This energy of the stag spirit also really speaks to being ready to take their place by your side, being ready to move through an ascension journey with you, rather than the intention, their intention is not to continue to kind of wander around in circles, kind of chasing their own tail, so to speak. But it's this intention to kind of get into alignment with like a higher purpose of this connection, a higher spiritual calling as well. A lot of signs that they have been getting and receiving that are maybe directing them back in your direction, if this is someone from the past you were dealing with, that they're ready to participate, to explore this together with you, to dig through these mysteries of the nature of this connection. What can be built from this point? What healing can really occur from, a different type of communication with one another, to move through the illusion that you were ever only just friends, or that it was ever something that was needing to be kind of hidden away. This is truth. This is declaration. This is stepping out from the shadows. And this also, if this is a new person that you're dealing with, it's that same idea about feelings that they've had for you for some time that have maybe been growing, that they have the intention of making known, coming more out into the light with these things, making that clear to you and almost broadcasting that to others as well. So this may be the intention, and then actions which are conveyed of, solidifying the connection in some way, evolving things to the next level. Speaking very openly about feelings that have grown for you, about the time that you've spent together and the impact that has had upon them, and a desire to solidify the connection in some way, make things more official between the two of you, or at least open up those lines of discussion where you are able to problem solve your way together through kind of the fears, any sort of complications that may stand in the way, internally or externally, to kind of bridging that gap between the two of you, distance may be a factor as well, geographic distance, or even kind of a distance of time if this is someone from the past. And so this is the idea of that with the energy balance, kind of like methodically working through those details of how to kind of create that sense of closeness, maybe the distance between the two of you. For a new person or someone from the past, even, it's not like you can just immediately kind of be in one another's physical presence. And so the intention to work with you to create intimacy and trust while, physically the two of you are separated from one another, and kind of making these plans, making these preparations to move closer toward being in physical proximity and physical contact with one another, creating something more solid and stable, talking about how to kind of build that trust and that reassurance while kind of this illusion of separation exists as a very tangible force between the two of you in the 3D reality. So this is definitely the intention of taking things to the next level, being very proactive in this. Owning up to the feelings that they hold within that have grown with time, or that have still existed through the separation and silence. If this is someone from your past that you're watching this reading for, that they're ready to kind of do what it takes to open those lines of discussion. What do you need from me in order to create those reassurances within you? A consistency here, a willingness to work, a willingness to kind of almost adjust and sort of maneuver in ways within themselves, how they are approaching you, how they are, the words that they are using, actions that may need to be taken in the material sense. It's almost like a list of things that need to be done that you're discussing together. This is the requirements that I have for, kind of feeling very assured about where the situation is going moving forward. They have the intention of being very honest with their own kind of needs and requirements, and also holding space and really taking to heart what it is you express to them, working with you to come to that place of compromise, so that the connection is able to ascend beyond the point that it is currently at. So I'm going to get some tarot to clarify for you about this. Okay, we've got the Seven of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Ace of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The Hierophant, which is Taurus. And Strength, which is Leo. So with these two fixed signs of Taurus and Leo, this definitely speaks to person from the past or new person that you're dealing with, the desire to fix this connection into some kind of a material reality, to work toward mutually beneficial goals for the two of you, to make things more solid, a more stable commitment, something that is outward in nature, something that has growth potential. The idea with the Hierophant can also talk about like the ascension of the connection, moving beyond the current circumstances. Somebody who is wanting to fight through obstacles, who has the intention to kind of defeat any barriers internally or externally that stand in the way from the free-flowing expression of the love and connection that exists between the two of you, or even the possibility of what that can grow into. If this is someone who'd been very kind of fearful in the past, or even again there had been kind of these outside obstacles, maybe distance, maybe other factors that complicated things, and they had been sort of resisting the urge to open up to this more, even resisting their feelings. This is almost like a change in another direction, fighting for this as opposed to against these feelings, a desire and intention to open up more towards you in terms of long-term goals, in terms of how they feel for you, love that they have continued to harbor inside, a level of self-mastery as well, with the idea of the lion and the maiden here, where kind of the fears that had taken hold, or that were very much barricades and obstacles to what they've presented to you up to this point in time, or what they were feeling was possible in the past. This is almost the intention to work with you. How can we negotiate through these things? How can we overcome these things together? A level of self-mastery that has been achieved, or that they are working on, that they are wanting to almost apply that same philosophy or principle to this connection. The intention here of really sort of focusing upon and prioritizing the spiritual aspect of the situation more than just kind of the surface level attraction. They feel a deep soul connection to you, and they are now seeing this as something that is worth fighting for as opposed to in opposition to. So they have the intention of bringing you that clarity, bringing you that sense of reassurance and balance, that they are in a place of courage, of wanting to kind of face the obstacles that each of you are presented with internally or externally in order to make a way for this partnership to either restart and to move into the next level, or to begin for the first time if this is somebody new that you are dealing with. So in terms of actions, also this Ace of Cups is a declaration of love, an expression of love, something that is really brought forth, that demonstrates balance within themselves. It holds enough of almost restraint and respect for wherever you are at right now, whatever kind of the past between the two of you has been, any kind of obstacles, not wanting to make you feel like an option, not wanting to make you feel like you must kind of compromise or dim your light in order to kind of fit into their world, into their equation. It's taking these factors into consideration, being very realistic with what you can do with kind of the circumstances the two of you are faced with at this point in time, but also the action of like a courageous declaration, words that have been needing to be spoken, affection that has been needed to be conveyed for quite some time. They're in a place of facing that fear, presenting that to you, presenting that kind of balance of any kind of doubts you had, maybe any kind of fears that you were harboring, where this was all just kind of in your mind. This was an illusion. You were kind of reading into the situation too much. This is the intention. And then those actions of really speaking their personal truth in a very profound way with that lion there, but in a way to where, it's not overwhelming. It's almost something though, which is just very direct, very to the heart of the matter. It's very much leadership energy, but also with this kind of receptivity to, this is how I feel, this is what I want, these are the following kind of obstacles or the things that need to be worked through, being receptive to how can we do this? How can, what do you need in order to have that reassurance that I'm in this for the long term? What do we need to do together in order to kind of make space, make room, make accommodations for this situation to develop in a very organic manner? The idea with the Hierophant as well is this idea of sanctity, that they hold you in very high regard. They have the intention of presenting to you respect, but also desire, so that you know that you are not just an insignificant kind of factor in their world, that you hold a very special place within them, a very sacred place within them, that they have awe and respect for this bond between the two of you, whether this is someone from the past and this bond has persisted, or somebody new that you have met, that you have encountered, that has been very much activated. They've been awakened in the heart space about you and concerning you, and sort of through you in this situation, that there's a desire to preserve the integrity of the situation, to build in a manner that has that kind of higher energy in mind, rather than something that might be just kind of fleeting and temporary. These two fixed energies here, these major arcanas, also speak to long-term growth potential. Again, that the connection is worth fighting for. The fears and obstacles and challenges are worth fighting for. This is someone who has the intention of working with you to build, and is taking action steps that may be very, very profound, very bold, very direct, in terms of a plan of action that is kind of set in place for the two of you to work through to that place of kind of a greater union with one another. So I'm going to get some messages from their higher self now and see, what does this person want to tell you? Okay, and they say, I regret how I handled things before. So if this person had made you feel like an option, if it's someone from the past or even someone new that you're dealing with, maybe there were a lot of complications in their life. They had kind of alluded to things, activated something within you in the heart space while they weren't at a place of readiness to sort of move beyond that, to do anything about that, kind of entangled you in third or even fourth party situations for some people. or even any kind of illusion where they were holding back, that was very kind of fear-based, where they just weren't seizing the opportunities, making the most of the moment and the potential. There's a lot of regret for that, a desire to come forth towards you at this point in time and moving forward from more of this energy of certainty and respect. They may have been very careless. They may have kind of been a little too, I'm hearing, fast in how they had approached the situation, which could have caused you to sort of put up your guard, put up your walls. And there's a desire to sort of course correct in whatever ways that they can to bring you a sense of reassurance, to move things maybe at a slower, more organic pace, something where you are assured that they do respect you for more than just kind of a temporary experience, a temporary kind of situation, that this is long-term energy here. And they regret for also not expressing their appreciation for you sooner, or if this has been someone from the past, for taking so long to kind of reach this place of certainty where they are willing to fight for the connection rather than in opposition to it. And we also have angry. So this can tie into, again, the idea of like a third-party situation that you were entangled with knowingly or unknowingly with this situation, with this person. A lot of anger that you may be having about that, a lot of hesitancy, a lot of guardedness. And there's this urge on their part to restore peace to this situation, to do what they need to do in order to rebuild your trust gradually, a desire to come toward a place of resolution, to kind of clear the air between the two of you by way of talking about difficult circumstances, taking the time to really prove their words and their promises through consistent action. This can also really tie into this idea of the regrets that they are having. They're angry at themselves for how they handled the situation, either words that they withheld from you, or ways in which they sort of fought against this connection in the past, that they're wishing they had fought harder for this, to work with these energies. They're seeing and respecting you in this situation from a higher perspective now, and so it's something that they're almost angry for the time that they have taken. Maybe they feel that they had wasted, or the complications which now exist, or that had been not dealt with properly previously, that are now needing to be faced, that are these obstructions to the two of you moving forward. If this is somebody new that you are dealing with, this can also really tie into ways in which they have held back up to this point in time. Anything that, may or may not have kind of been in the way in the circumstances here, or any just doubts that they may have really instilled within you as far as, what they are feeling, the nature and intensity of these emotions that have been building for them, perhaps very suddenly, that might have really kind of caught them off guard and caused them to sort of try to push away from this. And they're angry at themselves at how they handled that, rather than sort of opening up more or taking some time to kind of breathe and talk themselves out of that very kind of triggered and reactive state. So wanting to kind of course correct, ease the energy between the two of you, move out of this layer of intensity into more calm in the circumstance. And they also say, I'm sorry I triggered you. So again, somebody who may have come on too strong, or who was a little bit hesitant, flaky, wishy-washy, and an understanding, whether this is someone new or someone from the past, that it has now really caused your guard to be up as far as this person is concerned, to really question their intentions, question their integrity, question the viability of the situation, anything that has changed within you and your approach to this person, sensing that there's more to the story than they are letting on, things they were holding back, even actual kind of third-party situations or other complications that had existed in the past. They're in deep regret for the negativity and kind of the heaviness that this has brought into your life, the things now that you have been left to kind of deal with on an emotional level as a result of their actions or even inactions. And so again, it's this energy of wanting to do what's necessary to really smooth out the situation, to convey to you in a very practical and consistent manner that they see long-term potential here, they see growth, that they're willing to do what it takes to kind of bring you to a place of reassurance that they are trustworthy, that in the past, if there'd been a lot of obstacles, that they are ready, willing, and able to try and work through these things independently or with you. And they also say you are the one. So this can be somebody from the past who has continued to harbor a lot of love for you. They may have run from this idea, very, intense and like spiritual bond between the two of you, but they are now wanting to make their way back towards you, to do what it takes in order to course correct in this situation, to see, can we build? Can we start over? Can we begin again? I'm ready now is kind of that energy. If this is somebody new that you're dealing with, again, this idea of you being, it may be like an opposites attract situation, but you're very much in conjunction with one another. They're somebody who's been very spiritually activated by you, activated in the heart space. They hold a lot of love for you. And this may have been something that was very triggering for them. They could have looked around and only focused on the obstacles and the challenges and had allowed that to almost seep into or limit the experiences that the two of you have had with one another up to this point, rather than continue to fight that certainty, fight those feelings. This is the energy of wanting to fight for the connection, fight against whatever obstacles stand in the way in order to make room for this love and this certainty, this sense of familiarity, this sense of home that you represent to become manifest in the physical world in a way that is comfortable for the both of you, is realistic for the both of you, and has long-term potential for the both of you to experience this possible wish fulfillment with one another. This may also really tie into kind of the actions that this person may take, person from the past or new person, conveying to you that you are the one, that this is a very special connection. It's a sacred connection. You are somebody that they want to grow with. They want to try and repair the situation, to do what they can to kind of put at ease any sort of triggered or guarded energy that you are experiencing about them at this point in time. Any kind of sense of sorrow or feeling very abandoned or unappreciated. They're wanting to restore within you this sense of overflowing love and admiration that they have for you, and what they view as, again, this energy of sort of wish fulfillment, this long-term potential, and the growth into the horizon that they would like to make manifest with you. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit, and then I'll close it out with some initials. Okay, and we have Skull of Darkness, blind spots. So this can really be some guidance that, again, kind of in reference to these triggers that this person coming back, maybe someone from the past that you had a lot of kind of chaotic experiences with, this may catch you very much off guard. It may be a very triggering experience for you to have them come back and say, you're the one, and I want to work towards repairing this situation. The candle here on top of this skull really does speak to trusting your intuition, taking your time with the situation, understanding as well that there's still a lot of possibility and potential if this is something that you want to work towards with this person, and that ascension is possible in this circumstance, but it's really going to require putting to rest a lot of the difficulties you'd faced together in the past. Both your willingness to express what needs to change, and also your openness to allow this person to prove themselves in a different manner. The new beginning rests in your ability and willingness to release the past in some manner. This can also apply to somebody new that you are dealing with. Again, what they convey to you may be very triggering. You may be already very triggered by kind of this air of mystique with the idea of illusion, some masks, some ways in which they've been fighting their feelings, fighting against the connection. You've picked that up. It's very subtle, but it's something where your guard may be up against that. And so this may blindside you, the fact that they come forth all of a sudden with these words and these declarations of love, to where, again, you may be even more triggered by the circumstances, by the situation, not really sure what's trustworthy, what to expect, what their motives are, what their intentions are. But this is, again, this guidance to really go within, seek that intuition, follow the signs and the inclinations that you're getting. Your own intuition will sort of tell you what course of action to take in this may be an opportunity for you as well, not only to kind of move to the next phase with this person, new person or person from the past, but also an opportunity to close out some chapters, some abandonment wounds within you, things within you, triggers that have sort of brought this heightened level of discernment. It's an opportunity to heal these things, either by giving this person another chance, or entering into kind of a deeper connection with a new person for the first time, or perhaps even respecting your own sort of need for boundaries, the sense that something just feels off, not questioning that, but honoring that within yourself. This may be an opportunity for you to express deep and fearless self-love by kind of closing the door on this situation, maybe for now, maybe forever. But in either way, it's almost this idea of polarity here, that there's something that's presented. It's going to require you to kind of release some perception that you've had about the situation, the person, or even kind of an unconscious trigger within you in the past. It's going to require bold moves on your part in order to step forth into the possibility of what might happen. In either circumstance, this is like a crossroads point that you find yourself at. There's no wrong decision in this, whatever you choose to do with this person moving forward. But it's going to bring up a lot as far as your own kind of darkness or shadow is concerned. And so a very educational experience for you, a way to exercise, self-love, either by releasing these triggers and shadows, opening to the possibility that change is possible, armed with your discernment, but open to, being proven pleasantly wrong in a different manner. Or on the flip side of that, honoring this inclination within you that, whatever's presented by the new person or the person from the past is, symptomatic of other cycles you've been dealing with. And so this can be an opportunity for deep personal growth in order to kind of identify maybe your pattern, to just kind of leap before looking into situations. And in this instance, you honor that inclination, you honor that instinct, and you say, I need some more time. This just doesn't feel right. Or you just kind of politely decline and move forward in other directions in your life, which helps you on your own kind of personal ascension journey. Either way, there's love in the situation, love of self, love with another that's possible. And it's something where, all the answers aren't necessarily going to be there. There's going to be a lot more than meets the eye. So trusting in that kind of that intuition, that receptivity, what you're feeling, what you're reading beneath the surface, attempting to talk about these things with this person. And if you're getting consistently more of these red flags and these triggers and the sense that it's best to just kind of pull away, honoring that within yourself, but also recognizing a part of you that maybe almost seeking those obstacles out, a part of you that may still be very triggered by this individual or other kind of unhealed circumstances from your romantic past, that this experience, what unfolds, what this person, conveys or brings forth as far as actions, those intentions and how deeply they convey those or whatever is sort of held back. This may be a very educational experience for you as far as areas within yourself that are still needing to be worked on in order to move forward in this circumstance or in your life in general. So I'm going to get some initials, and this can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got R, X, Z, Q, and D. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I'm also running a sale in my Etsy shop now through the end of the month of February. Everything is marked down 15%. So if you've been considering getting a reading with me or purchasing one of the handmade items that I sell, now would be a good time to act upon that, as I don't often run sales. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube. It's called Lady of the Dawn Tarot, and there's a link in the description box, as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format there's a little different from here. I do pick-a-cards as well as general energy check-ins, but the subject matters that I cover are related to spirituality, wellness, ascension, and self-love. So if any of that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that channel out, and I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.